When a lot of people hear about the law of attraction or manifestation, they think that they can kind of just scam the universe or fool the universe into just getting what they want. And this is exactly how the ego interprets manifestation or law of attraction. The ego filters it through its own mechanisms, which is just resisting against the present, fighting to get what it wants, always manipulating to get what it wants. Right? And what if instead of all that exhausting way of living life, you could actually just kind of surrender to life and open yourself up to it, and what's really meant for you, what actually fits with you, can actually come to you simply by you opening to the present experience, opening to life, having a sense of trust in it, right? And learning to actually create the space for the thing to actually come in. So I want to completely flip this paradigm upside down of needing this specific person or this specific thing in this specific way, right? And instead, I want to offer a completely different way of being, which is just embracing the unknown, right? And allowing yourself to be, in a sense, bamboozled by what comes your way. So a lot of people, when they manifest, they want this specific person, specific thing. It has to happen just like this. And the problem with this is, first of all, when we've defined what it is that we actually want, right? Number one, we've limited ourselves to that thing, to that person, thing, way that it comes into our life. And a lot of people, they don't dig into why it is that they actually want that specific person, for example, right? A lot of people want the specific person because they're actually kind of just clinging and grasping. A lot of people want the specific person because it's an unconscious way that they want to really prove that they are worthy. It's a way that they cope with feelings of unworthiness, right? And instead of just clinging and grasping to the specific person, the specific thing, the way it's, supposed to come into your life, instead of just, grasping onto all this egoic phenomena, right? What if you could just let that go? What if you could connect to the inner child parts of you that are wounded and struggling and always feel like they don't have their needs met? Right? What if you could connect to your feelings of unworthiness, right? And bring full presence to them rather than fighting against them? What if you could learn to self-regulate and self-validate? Right? Because by doing this, it'll actually start to feel like you have your needs met, and you'll have to struggle against reality less. You'll be more open to life naturally, basically as your nervous system regulates. So then the people from that place that you attract into your life are actually going to be more aligned with you. You might not even want the thing that you wanted before, or the person who you wanted before. Right? Because you've shifted so much. So the second very core problem really is that we don't really know what it is we want, because a lot of the things that we want actually, a lot of the things we believe we want come from a lot of wounding. It's like we have unmet needs from childhood that we project outwards in forms of inner pain, and we project that outwards. We project the solution to that outwards, right? And then we cling and grasp onto what we believe the solution will be, when in actuality, it's a very fundamental disconnect from ourselves that is actually causing this problem. And once we close that gap, once we connect to ourselves, we naturally start to feel like we have our needs met. Our nervous system feels more regulated. We feel more open, more present, more clear, more sharp, more lucid. We feel well. We're more connected to our own authentic expression, our own authentic energy, the flow of life. And from this more grounded place, right, of course, we can open to life, and we can allow what comes into our life in a more organic and natural way to really, we can really just open the doors for it. Right? So this is a completely different way of relating to manifestation. Right? And there's nothing wrong with visualization or anything like that. The problem is that, of course, this doesn't actually even work for most people. Because the way most people are relating to life very fundamentally is one of fighting against life, one of resisting it, one of struggling, one of always manipulating just to get what I want. And I'm saying that we have to flip that on its head, and then from this place of surrender, from this place of wellness, from this place of regulation, from this place of trust, from this place of presence, the things that are most aligned with you can come into your life effortlessly without you always needing to fight against it, fight against life. Right? So this whole paradigm that I'm talking about here, this is beyond a surface level want, right? Because a lot of the things that people try and manifest, for example, through the law of attraction, is kind of like a 10-year-old on Christmas who wants the thing that he wants, and when he doesn't get it, he hates everything, basically. Right? What I'm talking about here isn't just like a mindless wanting in order to solve an internal problem. What I'm talking about is really going into a lot of the internal problems, right? Solving them through your own presence, through your own awareness, through connecting to yourself, through integrating all the parts of yourself, and then from that space, really see what fits you, what feels natural to you, what's organic, right? So this ends up being a deeper want. This is in a sense, more conscious want. This is alignment. And from this place, there's a sense of fluidity to experience. There's a sense of rhythm to life. And it's being able to sort of ride that flow that brings the most precious things into your life. Right? This is about alignment. It means you're harmonious within yourself. You're harmonious within the environment that you're existing within. Right? It's a want that doesn't come from wounding or a sense of lack. That's a very core part of what I'm trying to share with you. Right? This is a want that comes from life guiding you, from just pure intuition. Right? And just pure trust. So it's a want that comes from life guiding you towards certain experiences and people that fit you. And it's actually, in a sense, quite magical, right? It's like you're able to just kind of like let go of the wheel, right? And you just feel the flow of energy pull you towards certain things. And you can't really, in a sense, grasp onto it with your mind in the way that your mind so desperately tries to every second of the day. It's always grasping on and clinging and attaching itself to things in order to solve its problems. Right? Instead, it's just this openness and seeing what comes your way from there. Right? This doesn't mean that any opportunity that comes your way you just say yes to, but it's this fundamental trust in life, this underlying security that I'm talking about that's really needed. Because if you look into a lot of the reasons as to why people want to manifest certain things, it's actually to feel safe and secure. It's usually survival-related concerns, like relationships or money, which there's nothing wrong with at all, right? And we're actually just trying to feel more secure. What if we actually learned how to give ourselves those feelings of security? What if we were able to build a more psychological stability within ourselves so that we weren't so needy from the environment all the time, which doesn't mean you don't get your needs met from the environment, because of course a relationship need or a money need, right? There's always going to be an environmental factor here. There's going to be you and then the exchange with the person or the job or whatever it is, right? So I'm not demonizing any of that stuff. What I'm saying is that we have to investigate the place that we are coming from. Right? You see the difference here? You see the difference between manifesting that specific person because we just feel unworthy, right? And we just want them back, right? Versus having a sense of worthiness, feeling well within ourselves, and then noticing that we don't actually even want that person. We might realize that that's just not a good fit for us based off of our new level of integration and connection to ourselves. You see the shift here, you see the shift in paradigm, you see the difference between having a plan, right? And it has to unfold in this very specific way, right? And the reason why you're clinging on to that is because of fear. You want the sense of certainty, right? Like you see that paradigm versus fully just embracing this present experience, right? And allowing that embrace to, in a sense, raise your vibe, make you actually feel well, and then seeing what comes your way from there. Allowing that connection to yourself and the present experience to just clear you up. You see this very fundamental shift that I'm talking about? This doesn't mean that you can't get a good person into your life or money, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the foundation that we are standing upon when we attract things into our life is changing. Rather than one of psychological illness and dysfunction and lack and disconnect, it's one of wellness and connection and a sense of just openness. You see how this completely shifts and rearranges quite literally everything. Right? So instead of grasping onto that image in your mind of this is what I want and it has to happen like this, it's like you're so open and just connected to life now that the attachment to that thing, you're able to let it go. Because you realize that even that clinging on to whatever it was, a person, money, situation, whatever it was was causing a lot of suffering, actually. The clinging on to getting what you want was just a lot of suffering that was actually lowering your vibe. And the letting go of it, counterintuitively, makes you more magnetic. It actually makes you more attractive. It creates the space for the thing to actually enter your life as well. Right, so we're letting go of the paradigm of clinging, grasping, fighting, manipulating, needing to always know what's happening next, right? It's just actually anxiety. It's the ego, right? Letting go of certainty, letting go of the known, and finding a sense of security and stability within uncertainty, within not knowing, within just openness and just trusting, right? This doesn't mean that you're oblivious to life. This doesn't mean that you let people abuse you, right? It doesn't mean you don't have boundaries. In fact, if you do what I'm saying, you'll actually have better boundaries. You'll be more sensitive to the energy in the present experience. You'll actually be more sensitive to when people are mistreating you. It'll actually urge you to have better boundaries. It's the exact opposite. Right? So the old paradigm is I'm using the law of attraction to basically get what I want, and I'm scamming reality to basically get what I want. See, the one I'm talking about now is one of getting into alignment with yourself, getting into a sense of harmony within yourself. And then from that place, seeing what comes through. You understand the difference? Right? Do you see how the things that come into your life will actually just fit you better? Right? So that's it for this video. If you want to work with me one-to-one, you can apply in the pinned comment. Link is in the pinned comment and the description. Take it easy.